We received a huge response from you to the story of Riven Vincent. She's the mum who said she was going to have to put her severely disabled daughter into care because she couldn't cope without more support.
Prime Minister was asked about Riven's case and he insisted money has been set aside to fund respite care, but Mr Cameron admitted that he sympathised with her situation.
I know there'll be many families who look after disabled children who feel this as powerfully as I felt it as the dad of a disabled child. There are times when you feel close to packing it all in because you can't cope anymore with what you're being asked to do, and you know that if your child goes into care, it will cost the taxpayer and the state a fortune to look after your precious child, and you know that just with a little bit more, you could stop that from happening.
Well, that was the Prime Minister commenting on the case. Richard Westcott is at the Watford Mencap Children's Centre with more on this morning. Morning to you, Richard.
Good morning, and we had a huge response yesterday, and Ro was one of the people who got in touch. We'll talk to her in a second. She runs this centre. I'll tell you a little bit about it. They offer respite care basically for parents of disabled children, and their Saturday club, which was 6 hours of respite, I think, on Saturday mornings, has been cut. The budget for that was cut just before Christmas. That came out of the blue for them, and they run respite care in the evenings as well, and after school club. That is still going at the moment. We met someone who uses those services. This is Carol. Now, she's got 2 sons, Rory and Cameron, and they're both autistic, and her husband is in the army and goes away for 6-month stints at a time.
I have 2 children with disabilities, and looking after them is relentless. Yes, they're school-age children, but as soon as they're home, it's absolutely relentless from the minute they walk in the door, and actually continues through the night because of their disability. They don't actually sleep.
I've got Robbie's play. See? There you go.
Yeah, he's looking at Rory's play.
Presumably as they get bigger and stronger, and you're having to deal with sort of, what, is it tantrums? How does it work?
Yeah, it can be tantrums, it can be something as simple as we go somewhere and it's too noisy, or it's the wrong kind of lighting, or I have absolutely no idea why he's flipped out, but he has, and he's big, he will throw himself on the floor, and I then have to try and lift him. So a few hours of respite care is really, really important, even if it's just to sleep, or to go and do some shopping that you can't do with the boys, or just to sit quietly for half an hour with no distractions and not having to think, what are we doing next, what do I have to get, are they okay, that sort of thing. So it's hugely important.
That's good.
He fell over.
I just fell on the ground.
Oh.
So if you could give a message to David Cameron, to the council, to all of the people involved, what would your message be?
Don't make it such a battle. Don't make it be all tied up in red tape. I mean, if they spent the money on the simple things like respite care for a few hours a week, it would prevent us having to think about putting children into care and all the expense and everything related to that. So, don't take the money away.
This is Peter, Joanne, and Jake and Oliver. Now, tell us, I mean, respite care, just what does it provide for you? How important is it for you?
Oh, 6 hours once a month was all we got, and that was amazing. We could just do so much in that time. As a couple, it would be time that we could spend together. It could be time that we might need to decorate the house, we might need to go shopping, for things that we need to do together. And just, it goes so quickly. The boys adore coming here to the Watford Mencap Centre. They think it's a great place. They've got great friends they've made here, and the staff are just absolutely amazing. It's really broke our hearts to lose the Saturday club service. We've been very upset about it. The boys, Ollie comes, they provide other services here after school club, and they provide play schemes. And my concern now is if they've made these big cuts and Saturday club's gone, what's going to happen to the rest of the services that are provided here? How much money are Herts County Council going to cut?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk to Ro, who actually runs the centre as well. Ro, where have you gone? It's just falling down. I mean, what are your concerns too about budgets and about the impact that it makes to cut anything in terms of respite?
Well, our families have to fight for so much. They have to fight for everything, and every cut will cut deeply. And while we're going to be able to save a few pennies these days, in the next 2 or 3 years, the social ramifications on our families and our children just is inestimable. The early intervention of this centre, the respite that we give, the respite protects families against social breakdown. You know, the stresses our families live under 24/7. You just don't know until you're in that situation how bad it can be.
So how did you feel when you read about this woman in Bristol who contacted David Cameron?
And indeed, I've got a parent here who made exactly the same statement. You know, none of the families would want to do that, but the strain that families are under, you know, you get to desperate times, and so you think in desperate measures, and the government's just got to understand that these families need support.
Okay, Ro, thank you very much. Just very quickly, we did get a statement from the council as well, and they say, just finalised their budgets, no plans to reduce the budget for here. Next time around, greatly increase the provision of short breaks for disabled children in the area as well. Back to you.
Richard, thank you very much.
Do get in touch with us about that if you have a view or you're affected. You're watching Breakfast